Hello and welcome to another episode of the BashTalk podcast. Today I have a special guest and his name is Phil. And Phil, if I can just ask you just to give us a quick intro or kind of a bio about yourself, just for the benefit of the viewers.
So I'm Phil Heyworth, lifelong member of Pendle, always lived in and around Pendle. I'm 36, 2 kids, and I have an engineering company in Colne.
Oh, cool. One of the reasons why I was told to speak to you is that you do have quite a long-standing involvement in grassroots kind of local football and football clubs. And I'm just wondering if you could just expand a bit more about that.
Yeah, so up until recently I was the chairman of Nelson Football Club. Sort of fell into the role really. I like to get involved in charitable projects and things to keep myself busy over a weekend, and it became a bit of a labour of love really.
Okay.
Anything that's Pendle related and is a good cause, and I'll always try and throw my hat in the ring and do a little bit.
Did you find that, because you said you're 36, it's quite young to become a chairman? Was it a case of you kind of just fell into it because nobody else was available, or was it a case of you were really keen to push yourself out there?
Probably a little bit of both. It was the manager at the time was a guy called Andy Harrison, who'd approached me just before COVID and asked if I'd get involved with the club in some way, and then obviously everything with that 3 year period of COVID sort of stopped anything football related. And then the guy who did take it over was a man called Sean Lloyd, absolutely brilliant bloke who brought the club on leaps and bounds.
Yep.
And then unfortunately had to step back from the position, so I'd come in and Sean assisted me in the running of the club for the first probably 18 months I was there.
Okay, and then I'll be honest, for me, my exposure to Nelson as a football club is extremely limited. I mean, always kind of walk past Victoria Park and you'd see, some people maybe on a Sunday getting warmed up and doing stuff, and you'd think, keep at it. But you never really kind of associate it with any kind of are they in the league? Are they winning anything? What kind of team structure? Who are their sponsors? It's never without sounding kind of wrong or framing it the wrong way, but you never kind of took it seriously, if you know what I mean. And can you just kind of give us a bit more information as to how it's all kind of laid out?
Yes.
Leagues, anything?
So Nelson was a club formed back in 1881. Its claim to fame is that it was the first English club to beat Real Madrid in Madrid.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the Uniteds and Liverpools and Chelseas of the time. It was Nelson Football Club that flew over and beat Madrid on Madrid's soil. First English club to do so. So that is the claim to fame. That was 100 years ago this March, funnily enough.
Yep.
They're in the North West Counties, which is the first of the semi-pro league. So players are paid to play at Nelson Football Club.
Okay, so it's paid. Yeah.
So it's a paid gig if you play for Nelson. It's a bit of a yo-yo. It's been a bit of a yo-yo couple of seasons really. So the first season I took over, we made the playoffs. Unfortunately, got beat. Had a bit of a slow start to the second season I was in charge, but ended up finishing 11th. The problem is at counties level and semi-pro level is that lads get pulled for 10 or 15 quid extra a week, and some of these guys are young guys and they need the money. They've got young families and all that, and so it's hard to keep a squad from the start of the season to the end of the season. So you'll never name the back of a shirt because you don't know how long that shirt will be in that name.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I've got a love for non-league football as well, to be honest. It's raw, it's honest. It's you pitch side, you can meet the players, you can talk to the players. They all come into the bar after the game, so you can have a drink and something to eat with the guys.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of work. A lot of work. You're dealing with the league, you're dealing with the FA. The ground's got to be right. You've got to meet certain grading criteria. You've got so many rules to follow that you'd never guess some of them. And it becomes tiresome at times, I must admit. But the football, when you're winning the football, it's all worth it.
I think from the outside, people probably look at it and think, it's just like a playing a game on a Sunday or something. I mean, they might not see all the kind of intricacy and all the kind of paperwork that kind of goes with it and stuff. But so right now, obviously, it's not. So is Nelson in season in the league at the moment?
So the league's on, and as I said, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago now, I stepped away from the position as the club changed ownership. So these new guys will hopefully come on and bring the club up to the next level.
Okay, and then in terms of the kind of grassroots aspect of it, I mean, you mainly dealt with the senior side, didn't you?
Yeah, so I was just part of the first team setup, and the under-23s. So there's an under-23 squad as well that was under Nelson Football Club, if you will. But there is also another organisation sort of connected to the club. It was a little bit different. We like the first team, what is Nelson Football Club. The board of that never got involved with what is Nelson Football Club in the community, although we shared the same owner.
Ah, okay.
But Nelson Football Club in the community does the children's clubs.
Got you. And then do you ever see, so some of the players that you will have kind of dealt with as they were playing, like, were any of them like kind of brought up through Nelson, or were they just a case of we just managed to get some senior players and different?
No, we had a couple of lads that have come through the academy at Burnley and some from the Accrington Stanley Academy.
Okay.
I think with Nelson it was, and it sounds really poor, but I don't mean it in the negative connotation that I'm about to say. We had to take what we could get.
Yeah.
We were a club that couldn't compete financially with others, so we were competing on relationships and reputation.
Yeah.
And we'd built a really strong foundation on that.
Okay.
We'd got a good base of youth and experience in there that were playing for each other, and me and the club.
Got you.
And as has just been seen now, you know, the new ownership's coming for the club, and that relationship and reputation has dissolved with the resignation of me and then the manager, and then you know 14 or 15 players said, you know, we play for the manager, we don't want to play at the club anymore.
Well, just goes to show, so where other clubs might have a financial incentive, you guys are wanting to create like a nice kind of almost like a team centered around working with each other, and obviously once a key brick falls, then
100%. But that's why you do things, isn't it? You do things for relationships, and you do things to better something.
Yeah.
And we strongly believed that, you know, me and the manager at the time, Dad Staunton, strongly believed that doing it on reputation and relationships creates a better foundation for the club going forward. And if somebody could have come in and taken that on and started moving that forward, then I believe that it'd have been more beneficial for the town and the club.
Okay. And then, so say for example, you've got like Burnley, and people then associate obviously Burnley Football Club, it's in the Premier League. At the time of filming this, we don't know how long it's going to manage to stay in the league, but that's a topic for another day. But could you ever see like Nelson as a whole? I mean, obviously we've seen the ground, and it clearly, you know, more money injection will be great and ideal. But could you see, you know, Nelson advancing and maybe kind of developing more as a club in the near future, maybe?
I certainly hope so. I don't think it'll be a Wrexham or an FC. Well, FC United have seemed to have stalled as well now, don't they? But like, you know, who's the other one that's? There's another club I was talking about the other day. The Salford City. Oh, yeah. They were another one when they took, the class of '92 took over, and Wrexham is a prime example at the moment, and they've just gone up and up and up. Macclesfield is another one. Bury, they're currently, I think, top of the North West Counties Prem. Obviously ejected from the Football League, and then it's like risen from the ashes there back at Gig Lane with 3,000 going on. But again, the financial incentive there is huge for players. Can I see Nelson doing it? In reality, no. But I'd hope.
Yeah, I was going to say you do hold hope, I guess, and I think even from our perspective, it's genuinely, I can't think of a time when I've kind of like ever seen somebody that said, Nelson, I'll play this team, and so forth. So maybe there's aspects of it around whether it's social media or ways to reach people like myself who probably not like going out my way to like attend a match and stuff. So
well, I bet there's probably 80% of Nelsoners that don't even know that there's a football club down there.
Yeah, there you go.
So we are literally stuck at the back of Lomishire, and nobody ever walks that far down to the park anyway.
Yeah.
Because the path, before you actually hit the path to get to Nelson Football Club, the path ends up going back round and going back over to the bandstand side. So there's not many people even know there's a football club there. It's
literally, you walk along and the footpath ends, and it's a case of, if I carry on walking along the road.
Yeah.
Whereas the only reason I'm aware of it is because I'd take the other path. So I'd be coming down and I'd be walking along, and then occasionally I'd see people kind of footing the ball about and stuff. So, but I mean, I'm hopefully trying to look at it from an optimistic angle and saying maybe there'll be some kids that will, make their way through the academies over the years again and again.
Yeah, I think that's the hope when you've got that aspect, and obviously Rafida and Farhan that run the academy side, and that was always my hope, is that we'd get enough youth teams in the community side to start feeding into the 23s, and then the 23s is obviously the feeder for the first. And we were a long way off that. Don't get me wrong; it's not like we were somewhere near. We were a long way off it. Even the 23s to the first team, there's such a gap in like a gulf in class of football between the 23s and the first. But we were utilising players. And we were bringing some in, and we've had some great lads come through. Owen Anderson, who's a defender, left back, who was brilliant. Jude Entwistle, who's moved up to Cone now, so he's gone to the league above, who will be a fantastic player, 19 years of age, and he's in the English schoolboys team.
Well,
so these some of these young lads are flying, and that's what we hope, is that we can get from mini kickers to first team, and there's that continuity all the way through.
Yeah, that kind of progression path, because I was going to go on to that next, and kind of understanding do we have any success stories, so people that have kind of come either through or joined Nelson at some point and then maybe gone on to blossom somewhere else? But it sounds like we've got a few.
Yeah, there's a few, and Owen and Jude are two of them. Ollie Hodgson's another lad that was with the Burnley Shadow Youth squad that came to us as a youngster, and again scored a few at counties, and will no doubt be a very, very good football player. And I'm just trying to think of another one. Then there was a couple of defenders as well, two more defenders, centre halves, Morgan Bird and Harry Hull. Harry left us at the start of this season, I think. Don't know where he's playing football now, but Morgan's still with Nelson, and again will be a very, very good footballer.
This where you kind of it must be quite fulfilling and satisfying, kind of working with these people, knowing that there's a good probability that they're going to go on to do bigger and better things. I mean, even if not necessarily just in football, but you can kind of see them develop character. Because you mentioned you work with under 23s as well, haven't you?
Yeah. That's one thing that we never shied away from. We knew that clubs would come in, and we knew that we wouldn't be able to compete financially, as I've said, and we knew that lads needed money. There's a bigger political picture there, the cost of living crisis, and people need food, and they've got kids, and but we'd always make sure that we'd always give good advice to lads. We wouldn't try and keep them for keeping them's sake. So Jude's a prime example. We had clubs coming in for Jude time and time again. Con came in. We think it'd be a right move for Jude. We opened the door and we said, "We think this is it for you. Now go." A lot of lads don't want to hear that. They just want to take the money, and that's up to them. But we always knew we couldn't hold lads back. That's not what we're about. We want them to progress, but we want them to make that right progression, and that will advance their footballing career.
I guess the case of you've got their best interest at heart.
Yeah, and that's what you've got. Like I say, we're building it on relationships. So it'd be wrong for us to build a club on relationships and then start stabbing lads in the back to try and keep them playing for us. That's not how it can work. We've got to pull them, but unfortunately you've got to release as well when the time's right. And we genuinely did let lads leave if we believed that the move was right for the career.
Okay, and then you mentioned, I don't know if you're able to expand on much of this yet, but obviously there's a bit of a transition phase going on.
Yeah.
You're not the chairman anymore.
No.
And do you have a vision of what you want next? Like, kind of finger in the air, just thinking what you want to see happen next?
For the club or for me?
Both.
For the club, I'd love. There's absolutely no bitterness at all between me and the football club. So I'd love it to. I'd love to go from strength to strength, and the guys that have taken over have already promised a lot of investment down there. So that'd be great to see that come to fruition. I went down last Saturday to watch the game. I'll be there and thereabouts all the time if I can be. I'm a phone call away if they need anything. I've already offered that support to them if they want it. Mm-hmm. But I think I needed to step away just to give them the fresh start, really, because new ideas and new money and whatever, they need to do their own thing. For me, just something, anything really to improve where we are.
Yeah. Because there is because before we start the podcast, we were having a quick chinwag about, Pendle as a whole. And I think we've kind of on the same page in that if you're from outside and you talk about Nelson, it's typically like, oh, it's rubbish, it's this, it's this, it's this. But when you actually live here, like if you maybe make the effort to kind of look at the glass half full as opposed to half empty, there are some positives here, and there are aspects of community, aspects of some of the people that you get to know over the years here, and I think there are some positives, and I think you're kind of off the same kind of mindset. Like you've got that hope, haven't you?
Yeah. Oh, I do some supply teaching for Barrowford School, and I was talking to a Year 5 group the other day about us. And it was about Barrowford School, but actually Barrowford, caters for a lot of kids from Nelson and Barrowford, and the biggest thing that I can point out to them is the different cultures that we've got. It's unbelievable. That's not everywhere, and we could learn so much. And I don't know if you've ever seen the program Ted Lasso, and I was telling them, be curious, not judgmental. Ask people about things. Yeah. Nobody takes offence if you just ask questions and try and find out more. Don't judge people. Ask and get involved and see what it's like. And it's Nelson and Pendle as a whole are such a vibrant buzz. The food festival, the peace walk, unbelievable things that go on in the town.
Because we've got like a right mix of people, but so like I'm just a little bit older than you, so I'm 38. But I remember so I went to Whitefield, and at that time, just because of the way that everybody had settled, the area is predominantly Asian, so everybody in my school was Asian, like bar the exception of a few individual. But then they had almost like a school exchange thing where there was a load of kids from somewhere in Laneshore Bridge, I think it was, and they've come and then we've kind of chatted to them, and it was such an eye-opening experience, as silly as it sounds, because everybody I knew when I was a kid at infant age was Asian. But then obviously seeing all these lads and the girls and whatever, and we're all just kind of chit-chatting away, and it was really eye-opening, whereas I think the schools are a lot more mixed now than they were when I was a kid, for sure.
Yeah, they are, 100%.
And there's a lot of opportunity. I mean, again, there's opportunities for positives. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to paint it like it's all roses and everything. There are going to be issues, but
yeah, and there always will be, but it's far better than it ever was.
Yeah,
and that is just integration. People not being ridiculous about things anymore. My youngest lad is 10. He's about to leave school this time, and his best mate throughout school is a young Asian lad. And I remember just once just asking him, and I just said, "Tell me, the differences between you and Sufyan." And he told me some things, and skin colour was not one.
Yeah, awesome.
And I thought, brilliant, that. That's brilliant. And as a parent, I thought that's my job done there. He's not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's not what he's noticing first. He's getting to know people. He's getting to know what they like. He's finding matches and going on, and that's fantastic.
I think again, this generation of kids, and even like the teenagers now, they've got a lot more than we ever had, especially when it comes to some of the, because without kind of drawing onto the negative side of the topic, but there isn't, I'm sure of it, there's an entire generation of people in my and your age bracket that may have had a terrible experience in high school 100%. And infant school, vice versa, along the race-related lines, and you can imagine that carrying over into adulthood and then passing it on to the kids, and it's just like an entire generation almost ruined by bad experiences. So that's why I'm thinking I've got a lot of hope now that this next generation, they can benefit from it a lot more.
Yeah, and I think it only will if as long as we carry on doing what we do, and then our kids carry on doing what we've taught them, and what they know, and then before long, hopefully, touch wood, we'll be the world will be a better place. And I think Nelson and Pendle are perfect for that. It's a cultural mashup, and it's a beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah. But speaking of cultures, this is the bit where I did a little bit of digging about you. So just for the record, I've never met Phil before this, and I deliberately asked for as little information about him as possible, just because I thought because this is just a natural conversation, no script. But the only thing I did know was that Phil's been abroad recently.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah. So I went to Pakistan.
Okay.
We did 10 days in Pakistan, and it was by far the best trip I've ever taken.
Awesome.
It was unbelievable.
How did that come about? Was it just a case of like one of your mates is like just spun one of them, you know how you have them globes and he's kind of just spun it and he's got like Pakistan.
No, so I a couple of friends, Shaz and Yasser, we go for a curry, we play golf, and Sharafat has a place out there, and we were playing golf one day, and he said, it'd be great if you could come to my place in Pakistan and play golf in Attock. And we've always said, yeah, we'll do it, and then never really, it was always one of the things where you say, yeah, but then think it's probably never going to happen.
Right.
And then I don't even know what the change was, but he asked again, and I said, you know what, I'm game. I said, I'm game if Yass is, and Yass said, yeah, I am. And then next news, we were flights, and we were stood in Islamabad airport getting picked up, and it was a whirlwind 10 days, but what a 10 days it was.
What month did you go in?
We went on the start of November.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, you didn't go in like full whack in the heat wave.
No. So it were like 25, 26, 27 degrees, and got a little bit chillier at night, but
yeah. So at night you're gonna kind of cover yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's awesome because I'll be honest with you. I think a lot of people who've never been to Pakistan or may know people there, it's very easy to kind of have this perception like you go there and it's like extra security, this, that, the other. Whereas it sounds like you've just gone, let's go.
Oh yeah, it was straight over. There was no worry from me. Even getting there, we visited Attock. We visited a local orphanage that was great to get involved with. Played a few games with the kids, cricket, badminton, and stuff like that. We've played golf. We went up to Lahore. Literally couldn't move in Lahore for people wanting photos and selfies and stuff. Shahzada, which I believe is Prince. I don't know if that's true. Yeah, so don't like that. But yeah, genuinely, and it's and again, we talked culture earlier on. Everywhere we went, oh come on in, food, tea, chai.
Yeah,
and it's like, we've got somewhere. No, you've got to come and eat.
Yeah.
We went around the villages one day. We literally, I popped my head in on a farm because there was a little farm in a walled area, and there were some cows in there. I just thought, I literally popped my head in, and before I knew it, the guy had run over. He grabbed me by the arm. He's come, and he's taking me for tea. Just because he wanted me to drink tea in his village, and it honestly, the hospitality was
yeah, no, that sounds awesome.
Unbelievable. Hunza Valley as well for 2 days.
Okay, now you really went for the tour, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, Hunza Valley. Wow. That is the most beautiful place I've ever seen. No matter where you look, the snow-capped mountains. It's what a beautiful area.
So I think it's one of those where when you book a ticket to Pakistan, I think the first thing that hits you is the price of the tickets are really damn high. But getting there, you probably think, all right, yeah, it was worth it. But did you get many games of golf in then?
We only managed to get one in, just because we were literally jam-packed. We were seeing, obviously, Sharafat's out there and got family out there, so we were seeing his family left, right and centre. We were in Lahore, Islamabad, Hunza. But yeah.
I was going to say, give me your highlights, but it sounds like the entire journey was a highlight.
Genuinely, I couldn't. I think if I had to pick, it was probably spending. We spent a couple of hours playing games in the orphanage, and that was.
No.
And then after that, they showed us around the place and sat us down, and just the success stories coming out of an orphanage in Pakistan in Attock is phenomenal. Far outweighs what the system does here.
Yeah, and I think with slightly off topic, but I think, with the amount of young population or populace that Pakistan has, there's a lot of sporting potential if they could nurture it, even with like football grassroots. And plus, it wouldn't even be that expensive. You never know, you might have to set up a satellite club for Nelson there,
They were good at cricket anyway. I found that out. What are we? They could ball them lads. Yeah, absolute fireballs coming down the wicket hours.
Yeah, because you see them, obviously I'm not exactly the tallest guy, but they're like this high, but they're like rockets.
The arm on them, unbelievable.
Yeah,
unbelievable. I couldn't. I've never really played cricket, so I would make like a golf club. And then his first ball came in, it was just like, jeez, what are you doing, man? You could kill me.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had fun. We had fun, and it was. But the whole trip was just. I'm planning on going back this year.
Awesome.
Absolutely loved it. Loved it.
Well, I'm glad you did. I'm glad the people of Pakistan were able to leave a good impression on you.
Yeah, superb. Absolutely superb.
And then, so with that in mind, obviously we're starting to round off our allotted time. Just want to get some thoughts of you, or if is there anything you wanna say, or anything that you want to kind of get off your chest, or that you feel you want to share with the viewers about, the kind of things we've discussed today. Feel free. Yeah.
Just get involved. We just want people to get involved with things in the town and the area. It's such, for me, Pendle has such huge potential to be something great, because we've got Pendle Hill, we've got greenery. We're so blessed to be in the countryside that we're in, and we're 40 minutes away from a major city. It's such a beautiful spot to be in, that we've got the best of both worlds within.
Yeah.
Far less than an hour. We can be in the middle of nowhere, or we can be in the middle of hustle and bustle, whatever you want. But we just need people to get involved and to make things better, and see something, say something, and let's try and change. Let's not have people belittle Nelson and Pendle for being a dump, or because we can change that, and we can do it if we get together with it.
I mean, I get it if people have the odd moan here and there. That's standard. I mean, that's just life. It's like, oh, the road, bumps in the road, I hate this place. But I think, bit positivity wouldn't go amiss, as they say.
It wouldn't. And we've got, because there's so much to be positive about. So much to be positive about. And there's a lot going on in the Nelson Town Centre now. The parks and stuff are being done. We might have to put a bit of pressure on the council every now and again to get something done. And there's plans for other things that we know about, here being one that would be absolutely superb for the town. And but it needs people to support it, and I don't mean financially, I just mean in time. Just come down and help.
Yeah.
Just do what you can when you can, and it'd be a far better place.
No, awesome. I have a feeling maybe we'll probably be speaking in again in a few months.
I'm hoping so.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a few things discussed outside this video that we can't talk about, so maybe there's something.
Just yet.
Yeah, just yet. But on that note, I'll just round off on front. Firstly, I want to say thank you very much, and I also want to give a shout out to one of our mutual friends, Mesam, who also helped do some of the background research for this as well. And as for the viewers, I hope you appreciated Phil's time. He's been to Pakistan more recently than I have. You put me to shame, man.
You can win me next year. This year. We'll go in September. I think we'll go in September. That's the plan. The offer's there.
Yeah. I might have to take you up on it. Let's pop down and check the Hunza Valley out again, maybe. But over and out, everybody. Perfect.